Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Cultists After Party. You have found our home for fun after the premiere of the final episode of Season 2. I'm Heath Robinson. I'm the creator, co-writer, and producer, and I also played Steve. We have Brianna. Brianna, you want to introduce yourself? Director and co-writer?
Yeah, something like that.
Then,
yes, I'm the director and co-writer.
She was also in it. She was in the deleted scenes, one of the deleted scenes. So
yeah, I was an extra, but I am not anymore.
And then we also have Tom Robinson here. Tom played Dad. So he is with us, and we're very glad to have everyone here tonight. And we're just looking at what everybody was saying. Jason was saying that those were great. Left Spin is saying congratulations to all the cast and crew. Thank you so much. Heather says, congrats, those bloopers were hilarious. Well, you can thank Brianna for marking all the bloopers, because that was one of her jobs when she was going through for the dailies. You want to talk about that, Brianna?
Yeah, so normally, like, whenever I would go through the dailies at the end of the day, like as you do, you would, like, you know, you're making note of which takes you preferred and whatnot. But I was also making notes of which takes had good bloopers. And so then later, after we edited everything, I edited our bloopers together too. Brendan, I think, wanted to, but I was like, no, I'm going to make them.
So yeah, you actually edited them all together, but I don't think we would have been able to find them. I'm glad you thought of, during season 1, marking the bloopers on the dailies, because otherwise we wouldn't have ever found them and wouldn't have been able to create them.
Yeah, the only other way you find them is whoever is doing the edits for the for the episodes. But then, like, as you're going through the different takes, you might find some in those takes. But it's not as good of a process, I don't think, because you'll miss them that way.
Left Spin says the deep ones really like streaming. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Apparently. Jason
says hello all, and Left Spin says, hey, Thomas and Brianna.
I believe I'm if you're reading these, I believe I'm starting to, Dad is developing a bit of a fan club here.
Might be. I think that might be what's happening here.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Heather says, after that credits scene, Dad needs a mini made.
Yeah, calling back to when he had Tom on before, you noticed that there wasn't a dad. We're like,
there was not a Dad mini.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, you're right. We might need one of those. Cthulhu Bob Lovely says, Dad. Yes, exactly.
See,
Hey, that's absolutely. Cult following is fantastic. Marvel Indy, good to see you on Twitch. Can't stay long, running errands, but congratulations. Thank you so much for being with us. Glad you were here. Thank you, Marvel. Captain Skye says, any father that would fight
Captain Skye
is the king in my book.
Welcome, Skye.
Retro Nerd Girl says,
wait, we should tell people who Skye is in case they don't know.
Oh, yeah, I guess they don't know Skye. Yeah, Skye plays Dave.
He is here in the comments.
Yes, so Skye is with us in the comments. He plays Dave, and he wrote the theme song.
The theme song.
Retro Nerd Girl is here with us and says, congrats to finishing your 2nd season. Everybody be sure you're checking out Retro Nerd Girl's channel. She does a lot of movie reviews and commentary on TV shows and things like that. Lots of fun. Cthulhu Bubble says, I don't know how to do at OL. Oh, that's fine. We got it going on. I think I got it. You can see them all over there. All right. Well, should we go in order of everything we just watched? Go back to season 9 since Tom is here, so we can look at the exorcism and have his commentary, and then just go forward from there.
Because it is a short episode too, so
episode 9 is pretty short.
I'm just along for the ride.
Well, episode 9 is a big Dad episode, so we want.
Yeah, that's important. And that was the one that you wanted to be here for before.
Yeah,
right. You had the wrong day.
Yes, I had the wrong day, and I sat through an episode that I wasn't in, and which is fine, right? I mean, because they're all great. I'm just,
Okay, well then let's go through episode 9, and then you stop, and Brianna, you talk whatever. I'll bring that up.
Father Roddick.
Okay, here we go, and I'm gonna turn down slightly.
Father Roddick, thank you for coming so quickly. Please come in.
Thank you.
Smile, you're on camera.
So, what seems to be the problem?
It's my son Mike. He's possessed.
Oh, dear.
And I think it's spreading to my daughter.
Oh, no.
Can you exorcise the demons? You're all I have left.
I'll evaluate the boy. And if the demons of hell have possession of his body, I'll free his soul.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
What's that hideous smell?
Probably my dirty socks. Who are you?
No, something else. Something unholy.
Look, you can't just barge into my room.
This. What is this?
Incense for Yog Sothoth?
I knew it.
Hey!
I've seen all I need to see.
What's going on?
This is for your own good, honey.
Remove thine evil robe from thine body.
What? No way!
Do what he says, Mike.
Never!
Tom, we had been talking about what a cramped environment this was
Whew.
to shoot this in. Lots of
Yes.
action and very cramped.
Well, it was cramped outside the room too.
Yes.
That stairs going up to the second floor was small, and then we got to the top, and there's a very small landing, and you were out there, Heath, because I think at the time you were working on your rabbits. So you're sort of
Well, I was doing that too. Yeah.
Yeah, with the laptop, and
Multitasking.
you're producing and you're working on that, and the other crew were out there, and Mom and I were out there waiting, and then so it was kind of once Mom and Jim or Father Reddick, once they went in, I was like, whoo, freed up some space out here to go into that bedroom. And there's all of us with Brianna and Brennan and Dax with the boom. It was cramped and a lot of stuff going on in there. Yeah,
I forgot that Dax was also, I don't know if we said that last time, but Dax was
No,
also in there with the boom.
Yeah, we did mention that, but yeah, I forgot about how
I forgot
just
that.
cramped it was outside too.
yeah,
That was another person.
yeah.
Lots of people.
What is going on?
Oh, Father Roddick is here to help us with our problem.
They're trying to take my robe again. Can't he just wear the robe? It's important to him.
It's evil.
Okay, so that's like one of the favorite things. My favorite interactions with Mom where we actually speak is like, can't he just wear the robe? Of course you wrote it, so that it's like. If I say just let him wear the robe, of course that's never going to be enough to just let him wear the robe. Then he's going to burn incense. Then he's going to, do his prayers. He's going to light the candles. He's going to do all of the stuff. He's going to summon Cthulhu. He's going to sacrifice his little sister. But here's Dad just kind of, can we just let him wear the robe? It'll be okay. Yeah,
as if all those other things don't follow from it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just let him wear the robe, really. And let me say, go ahead.
No, you go first. You go first.
Mom was fantastic and just the nicest, and yet she's just like some of those looks that she gives Rob, and now suddenly she's turned those looks on Dad, and I was like, okay, I wouldn't want her to be my mother.
Yeah, and it's also what I was going to say is like there's that connection, of course, that Dad and Mike have, where there's that history, and Dad understands in a way that Mom doesn't. And so there could be this implication here that there's a past conflict between Mom and Dad that is coming up. It's not just about the robe, because at some point they must have had this conversation about Dad's robe a long time ago.
Yeah, and there's so much of that that's unsaid. That we just had to kind of figure out as we went along, getting into our heads, where were we in all of this? And yeah, there just feels like there's somewhere, but for me, this is just as I was working through the character. For me, I was going to say there was somewhere down the line there had been compromise, and what that meant. What that means is the compromise between Mom and Dad was Dad did exactly what Mom said.
Right.
Yeah. There really wasn't compromise. I'm sure
Mm.
we called it compromise, but I'm sure what it boiled down to was, if you're going to marry me, then the robe goes, the cult goes. You're going to be a normal husband and a normal dad, and you're not going to, no more of that. And I just feel like that's how I played it, as though dad was, mom was like, this is how it's going to be. And so dad put it away, but really didn't put it away.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly the kind of thing we were thinking, or I was thinking when I was writing it. I think that's it. I think that is so perfect. And then we've got lots of people talking here. Yes,
there's some great comments. Yeah.
Yes, the classic conflict: dad versus father. That's something interesting to think about too.
Yeah, it really is.
Especially since there's a Star Wars reference in this.
Yes, we're coming here. And I saw somebody. I believe it was Gamer H or somebody was asking, like, I was hoping that was intentional. I was like, yes, it was. So Captain Skye says, if you give a cultist a robe, yeah, that's true.
Yep.
I saw that earlier. I love that. Yeah.
Cthulhu Bob Lovely says, well, dad was so proud he had branded Rob. So exactly right. That was something we'd been over, that that's when you started to get that idea that maybe there was something more to dad. Retro Nerd Girl says, I love that unspoken backstory. Cthulhu Bob Lovely says, compromise sounds like my marriage. Divorce. Sweet door prize. Yes, thank you. So be sure you sign up.
That is a great door prize.
Captain Skye says, meet me in the middle, says the unjust man. You take a step forward, they take a step back. Meet me in the middle, says the unjust man. Right? Oh, and Cthulhu Bob Lovely says, I keep forgetting to mention how incredibly generous you are, Heath. Bravo, huzzah. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Cthulhu Bob. Thank you. All right. Well, let's keep going.
No, let's keep going. It gets better.
I have had enough of demonic forces in this house. It must be burned.
No!
I thought you would understand that.
And that line right there, like that like, and with the look and everything, it just really confirms what's the word I'm looking for? Like it really supports that that sort of unspoken backstory that we were talking about.
You would understand that. Yeah. And I don't know I don't know who else has been on. What other cast members have been on?
Skye has been on.
Skye has been on, and Dax has been on.
Okay.
Oh, and also Brennan and Megan.
Oh, and Brennan and Megan.
Members,
they were a
too.
crew. So yeah, Brennan and Megan.
Okay, so Skye, he's in chat. He could back me up on this if it's the same for him. I don't know how it is for him. For me, it's interesting to sit and watch myself. It's an interesting thing to sit here and watch. And I see, like I saw just now, the expressions I had made. I felt like Dad is really torn because he's looking at the priest out of the corner of his eye. He's looking at Mom. He's looking back. And when she says, you should know this, I just feel like I was like, I'm not giving myself kudos or patting myself on the back, but that was a great expression where Dad's like, it was exasperating because, like, what do I do? So, yeah. Okay.
We got more dad love. Heather says Dad needs way more scenes in season 3. Well, hopefully we'll get to do that. No comments, but hopefully we'll get to do season 3 with Dad. And then also, Dad Left Spin says Dad prequel.
That's a great idea.
That would be fun. That would be fun. And Captain Skye says agreed.
No, please stop. Oh, you can't. Oh, please, you can't do that. You can't.
Yes, I can. I am your mother. It is gone for good this time.
No.
Move.
We were talking about that last time. Well, that was non-scripted. Yeah,
that was such a great line on her part. That was
good. Yeah.
And a great look here too, because this is about to be the moment of decision for Dad here.
This is the moment of choice, turning point.
You, the power of God compels you.
The power of Christ compels you.
Father,
The power of
please.
Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
No! What? Run! Go now!
Stop! Let me up!
Hold still, little man!
Do you want to talk about that part, Tom?
Okay, so first of all, Jim was such a good sport over all
Yes.
this. I had to grab him and
Oh,
Oh no, you're frozen. Oh no.
hopefully he will
Tom,
be
you're
back in just a
frozen.
moment.
Ah, shoot.
The commoner says dramatic hero rescue music
okay,
plays.
Yeah. Oh, you're back. Oh, Phil, say something else.
You were back for just a moment.
You're coming in and out.
here again.
Okay, I think you're
Oh.
coming back. You're still breaking up.
Retro
You sound like a
nerd
robot.
girl- I know you're roboting. I bet you'll be back in just a moment. Oh,
Oh no.
okay. Well, Retro Nerd Girl says brilliant. I bet he'll be back in just a moment. So he'll probably restart here and be right back. So
Okay.
thank you. Yes. So we will wait for him. Oh wait. Well, look.
Oh, you're back?
Okay.
Say
I'm back.
something.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
you're back. Great.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right,
Okay.
so I said Jim Brock, who was such a good sport because we had to pick him up and throw him down on the bed so many times because we shot this from so many different angles. I just want to give him some kudos. He was a great sport in all of that. It was a cool scene because, like you said, it's that moment of decision. There's some indecision. What do I do? Mom just left the room. And he's looking back to his wife, who's already gone, obviously, and then this, and it just becomes it becomes pretty much an obvious choice. Is to save to jump in there and. But yeah, Jim was a good sport. It was a lot of fun. But there was like the part about hold still, little man. That was unscripted. There was there was a lot of ad libbing there because it was like every time we had to do it, had to you were coming up with something to make it fresh, to make it fun every time we did it. And I really think you guys picked the best one of all of those to fit in there. I will say this. There were so many times when I wanted to turn and say, "Fly, you fool!"
Oh, that would have.
Well, that could have been good too. We had talked about how we had thought about this scene given unlimited budget, and given unlimited budget, we also would have had Dad enact the scene where he throws the Emperor down the bottomless pit. So it would have been great if Dad had picked up the priest and gone to the window and flung Father Roddick.
All three of us.
I believe there's not only the Star Wars reference there, but there's also something to do, and it seems like an Exorcist reference in all of that somewhere with throwing the priest out the window, I think.
Well, the stuff the priest says, Brianna and I went through The Exorcist, and we were using the script of The Exorcist as a deliberate reference for a lot of the stuff that he says and does. So, yeah, definitely stuff. The commenter says, 2001 A Space Odyssey made around the world FaceTime calls look so much more smooth and unglitchy. Oh, yeah, yes.
Science fiction very rarely accounts for the fact that technology doesn't always work properly. So it's like cool thing in the future. It's like, but it's still probably going to glitch like all technology does.
Captain Skye says, this foe is beyond any of you. Run. Yes, exactly.
Yes. Yep.
And then defenestrate the father less.
Yep. Yes, exactly.
Stop struggling! Let me out!
Hold still.
What are you doing?
I love that. What are you
doing? Yeah.
That's a great scene. That was so much fun.
He says from being smothered
That's the
by
extent
cover.
of That's the extent
Yeah,
of
that-
that in this
that's it.
episode.
Yeah,
Do we
you're
wanna-
right.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, we
If you-
covered the other parts.
If you want to move on, thank you. I appreciate you going back and doing that. just for
Yeah.
me.
Oh,
That
no,
was
we
course.
want
a
to
lot
hear.
of fun.
All right, so now here we move on to the finale.
All right.
Steve, the time for your destruction has come.
Will you please just leave me alone?
No, Steve, this has to happen. Besides,
I like this.
you're in my spot.
Oh, whoa.
That, you know,
Pause,
that-
pause.
yeah, I know. But that whole scene right there. Can you please just leave me alone? And
If
then,
he's at
like,
the end.
no, I cannot. This has to happen to you.
Yeah.
Because like at this point, you know, it's like he's being hounded by the God, I can't remember what the
Shub. The,
Shub. Thank you, the witch's
yeah, the
Shub.
cult of Shub.
And he's at the end, and he's about to give up, and it's just like, can this just stop? No, there's some definite Schadenfreude that we play into with this character.
It's like poor Steve. You're gonna die either way. It's like be killed by power word or be killed and eaten. It's
One of those, you're gonna die somehow.
Yeah, it is just that whole. Can you just leave me alone? I'm done with all of this.
And Ben, so folks know, this is going to happen to you. Like whatever this really is, reading from the D&D book, like
Yeah.
whatever this is.
Right. So, and I love I love Skye in the background.
Yeah, he's so intense.
The look on his face, because he's got to know this is just a bunch of crap. You know, you can't cast a spell using.
Well,
the
then
play.
again, I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
I don't
Dave-
know. I think Dave might be really into
I think
it.
Dave's really ready to do this, but he's got
You
his
think
he's got
he's
his
on
hidden
board?
weapon that he's about to bring out, hidden behind his robe. We'll watch for it. That was his addition to deciding to hide it like that.
Binguli Patagan, Ranga Hanga Ah.
Oh, I should
Illusory
comment.
manifest.
So
Yes.
what's being said here?
Oh, wait, Skye, you got to say in the comments to confirm. But I think he's quoting from what's the name of that movie?
Monty Python. Cthulhu
Monty
said,
Python, right?
It's
The chant
Monty
that they're
Python,
making
the
when
Holy
they
Grail.
when they hit their head. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. So right. So, and I think that was something that Skye added. Right.
Yes,
he was
that was
going to
his
go
idea.
for that, and he was going to add that. But what Ben is saying here, we took the actual spell description from the Dungeons and Dragons handbook and ran it through some type of Cthulhu language online translator and
So
came
just
up
gibberish.
with what that was, but then went back and added some of the original words back in, like
Yeah,
saving throw and some of the stuff. So it's Cthulhu language plus some of the original words from the spell description.
Awesome. I did not know that.
yeah.
Captain Skye says Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Right. Yes, exactly. This show is littered with references. I love it. It is.
Yeah.
There are references all over the place across season 1 and season 2.
Yeah,
Lots
that's one of the things we can't help ourselves with. It's just too fun.
Mhm.
And Heather says, I knew it. Yep. Heather called it as we were watching on the original watch through. And there is such a thing? Yes.
Station at our Edith target conditioner saving throw.
Oh, I got a comment on that. The little
Okay.
camera trick going on right there. Those two, them walking, was filmed on a completely different day to everything else in the scene.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so Brendan did an excellent job matching those shots and then editing them together and splicing them. So part of what makes that work is the fact that the camera's moving so fast that he's able to cut them and your eyes can't tell. But yeah, shot on a completely different day. We were lucky that the lighting didn't look too different. Made it work.
Yeah, it did work. Because, the Ben.
Because we were scared of that. Oh, at least Brendan was. He was like, what if it's a rainy day? What if it doesn't work? You just squish over and then it just like looks so different. Yeah.
Because the witches were not there they were only there for one day, which was not that
Yeah.
day. And
They
Les
filmed all
Ben,
their stuff in
it's
one day.
always sunny on that side
On
of
that
the
side
bridge.
of the street.
Oh, God. They've come for me. I've got to get out of here. God, oh, God. Ah.
Now, so that's when Steve starts bleeding, which
When it
we had.
starts.
Yeah, which we had to think about because that was important to indicate that Steve is bleeding underneath the bridge. He tore at something underneath, hooked on something and started bleeding under the bridge right there. And then, so there was a cut there because I think you see me without the blood. And then when you may not be able to see it too much, but it's there that when I'm screaming under the bridge there, I'm bleeding under the bridge.
This shot, this take, you didn't see it very well, but the overall action was very convincing. So that's why I chose that one.
Yeah, but you can also, I think you can see it there, that we had all of the fake blood going down the arm and stuff like that because I had cut myself. And then right after that, I walked up to Carol at the pavilion and I showed Carol and I went, Carol, do you have a Band-Aid? And I showed her my arm. And Carol freaked out for a moment. She didn't appreciate that.
Oh, no, I bet she didn't.
She didn't appreciate that. But it was a very convincing bloody arm there.
Do you have a Band-Aid? It's so mean of you.
Well, we had all of the first aid stuff and the pharmacy stuff on set. Like if something goes wrong, here we have Band-Aids, we have all of this, and that's like my whole robe is torn. Like, do you have a Band-Aid? Just blood pouring down my arm.
That's right, Steve. Run away.
Oh man, you did it. That was amazing.
I know, right? Dude. Now, wait for me to take that psychic damage.
I love their vibes, these two characters when they're together.
Their bromance. Their
it
relationship
just plays off of each other very well. Yeah.
So well. Doing these scenes with the witches was so much fun.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed that.
Because we had several ones where I was running from stuff and Brianna was like, no, it needs to be bigger, do it bigger.
I sometimes I had to pull it back too. It was like, it has to be just right.
The commenter says Skye looks like an Eastern Orthodox priest with that incense. Yes, he does. He absolutely does have that look. Perfect.
Just where they wanted him.
And that was such a great whip from
Yeah.
Cherry. The sound effect and everything that makes it look great. Or Crowley, as far as Skye goes. That could be too. And he says they're everywhere. Exactly right. That was, what's going on with them?
Like he's running, but they're just walking at a slow pace, and yet they still catch up with him.
Sarah pulls off that evil look so good.
Yes.
I mean, the costume adds to it, but just the look on her face is. Yeah.
Yes.
Did you see the look on his face?
Yeah, dude. He was so scared.
Now, let's give him that 40-10 psychic damage.
Oh yeah. You got the dice?
Yep. Right here.
All right. Roll high, dude.
24 points of damage.
Do you think that'll be enough?
What are they thinking? What is this?
They think that the rules of D&D work in the real world. That's what they're thinking.
Cthulhu Bob Lovely says this episode is starting to edge into maybe something real is happening. Well, maybe, on the other hand, maybe completely not.
You failed to deliver the worshippers of Dagon and Yog-Sothothos as you promised.
Please, I just need a little more time. They're much more formidable than I thought. I just need a little more time.
Your time is...
This is just thinking about, what kind of person finds these guys formidable?
Right.
It says a lot about Steve. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's been Steve's problem. Oh my God. He says another one. They're much more cunning than I thought. I'm having problems. They're so formidable. Steve, you're having trouble with these guys.
This is also the guy that hid under the picnic table.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And they didn't notice. So
right.
Anyway.
So yeah.
Well, okay, so the mega fish, let's talk about that when that comes up. We'll talk about that. Captain Skye says, we're thinking, yeah, you have to roll to know what the damage is. Obviously. Right. Yes, that's obviously what has to happen next.
Yes.
Well, and okay, so excellent practical makeup with the facial cut. But actually, that's just the Band-Aid. He's got the Band-Aid on. When we go back to his, because, Acantha brought him the Band-Aid and said, I saw you got beat up.
Yeah.
Here's the Band-Aid. And Steve's like, oh, well, thank you. And that's what sort of, turns him around on Acantha. And so Steve has that Band-Aid, which that we had to take the Band-Aid on and off and things like that because there were different scenes shot on different days. So all this, there's a lot of things that are on people's face in this show. Like the Band-Aid is on my face. Rob's brand is on his face. Then Ben has gotten the temporary tattoo on his face. So we had to track all that. And next time I do a web show, I'm going to limit the number of things we have to put on people's faces. But yeah, so that's what was going on there. Retro Nerd Girl is laughing here. Bob Lovely says, oh, it could be the action's too quick for my eyes. Yeah, it does. I can see why it looks like a cut because you're probably seeing under the Band-Aid, but it is the Band-Aid on his face.
Heath is also just very like grimy from playing this character and all like this dirt and all this stuff. So maybe you're seeing some of that.
Yeah, we kept all of that, especially in the clothing. Like I was like, okay, so what? We had several different robes for Steve, and when robes got dirty, I do not wash these. Do not, because this robe is going to come out on another day, and it's got the same amount of dirt on it for in order to progress.
Up now, Steve. And besides, we want to eat you before you get any thinner.
No, please.
The scream is like genuinely disturbing, and so it's just such a contrast of like this show gets like so dark and so ridiculous at the same time, and
genuinely disturbing.
Yes, but I want to actually make the rest of my comment in a couple seconds, so keep playing.
Okay, well, I know that Brennan loved the scene when we were shooting this out there.
Yes, ending on the shot of the goat.
Yeah, we scroll down perfectly with the goat. Yeah,
because the joke here is like you think for a moment, oh, this is heavy and serious. Just keep playing, and it's like, how are they going to respond when they hear this? Someone's dying, potentially.
Again, because this isn't all that. It's within earshot of these guys over here, right?
Whoa, dude, I think you really did it. Was that Steve? Yeah, I think that was him taking 24 points of psychic damage. Do you think it killed him?
To me, that's like the punchline there. It's like this moment of like, oh my God, what just happened? I think you did it. I think that was him taking 24 points of damage. That's what you think that is? That's what
because we all know exactly what it sounds like when someone takes 24 points of psychic damage.
Apparently.
Right. And they think they just, he ran off. They walked up here, they rolled some dice, and then all of a sudden in the woods someplace, he starts screaming and dying because of that. Makes perfect sense to them, right?
Yeah.
Cthulhu Bob Lovely says, "Oh, Scroogey Steve," we used to call him. Yeah. And Captain Skye says, "No worries, bystanders. We're not actually murdering someone, just pretending. It's fine. Don't bother calling the cops."
Yep.
And Cthulhu Bob Lovely says, "What else?" Right.
Sounded like it to me.
No other explanation. Right?
Yeah. Oh, and then he finally gets his thing. I don't know if people noticed that. That was the very first episode of the season. Is he tries to give a fist pump to Rob, and Rob doesn't give it to him, and he just very sadly gives it to himself. So then he finally got to have it there. That was that was added in, non-scripted.
Retro Nerd Girl says, "Captain Skye, you are selling that dialogue." So actually, this is a great freeze frame for some of Steve's gear that he's got here. So I've got the plastic bags of just whatever random stuff that Steve decides he needs to have with him. But he's got his play mat there of the Nyarlathotep there. The Egyptian thing there. He's got two different what are they called? Obelisks. You got two different obelisks right there. And then actually you can barely see it, But that sitting right there in front of the panel and between the obelisks is a cartouche that says Nyarlathotep in Egyptian. So we had, for Journey to the Tree of Sorrows, we had consulted with an Egyptologist out in California for how you would write Nyarlathotep and also the prayer to him. So we had that information from a college professor Egyptologist. And so then I used those same Egyptian runes to make the cartouche there that says Nyarlathotep, son of Azathoth, on his cartouche. You don't really see it that much, but hey, that's the kind of detail I go to in the props department. Cthulhu Bob Lovely says that's cool. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. Hopefully we'll get to see more of it later, or maybe if something else happens with Journey. But that's what's going on there.
I don't know why you're bothering bringing him muffins.
Well, he shouldn't have to die of starvation. I mean, he might as well enjoy his last few days on Earth. Besides, we only need Ben to think that his spell worked.
When's he planning on casting that anyway?
Hopefully before the cult of Shub gets to Steve. Steve? Steve! Whew.
So that's finding the blood and the part of the robe,
right,
where he tore that under there.
Uh-oh. He went that way.
And we love it.
Ghoulie photography.
Oh my God.
Have a drink.
What have you done?
Casting that anyway.
Hopefully before.
But we loved it right there that all of a sudden, Rachel, who's Rachel? Shay goes into tracker mode. Wait a minute, blood trail, and starts tracking Steve. Captain Skye says, Heath, can you give us a fun fact about who Steve worships? Nyarlathotep? Well, so that's the crawling chaos. So he worships the crawling chaos. There is the H.P. Lovecraft short story about Nyarlathotep, who comes out of Egypt, out of Kem. And so that's who Steve is supposed to be worshiping.
Before the cult of Shub gets to Steve.
Uh-oh. He went that way.
Cthulhu Bob Lovely says, dual class Witch Ranger. Possibly, yes.
We're having to put blood on leaves, and that was like a delicate balance of like putting a realistic amount of blood that he could have actually dripped didn't show up on camera.
Right.
And so that leaf is like absurdly drenched in blood because it literally just wouldn't show up on camera unless it went over the top. So whatever, it's comedy.
well, I remember that I even had this gigantic thing of fake blood that we'd mixed.
Oh yeah,
up.
you had this huge tub,
and I was like throwing it everywhere. And I was like, and then Brendan was like, "That's enough." But then, yeah, we had the problem that it wouldn't show up, right?
Because the problem was that these are just like brown leaves and it's red, and so it just doesn't. The contrast isn't strong.
Interesting. Just has nothing to do with this, but it's black and white. Hitchcock's Psycho. Do you know the shower scene? They didn't use stage blood. They used Hershey's chocolate syrup.
Really, I didn't know that.
Because Hitchcock said the stage blood or film blood wasn't dark enough, wasn't going to show up on camera as well. He wanted something really dark and really nasty. So they used chocolate syrup.
Interesting.
Just, yeah.
Fun fact.
Yep, fun fact. Well, fact.
Fun trivia. Oh, and this scene, props to them because Heath and we were in the middle of filming, and previously the implications for Steve's character were a little bit darker, and so we decided while we were filming it that we wanted to leave it more open, where it was like maybe he died, maybe he didn't, and kind of leave that to people's interpretation. And so we added this scene, and I think we gave it to them like the day before we filmed it.
We changed the scene.
Yeah.
Rand and I were talking about that, like as we were
it.
shooting, like what is the feeling of what happens to Steve, or what we actually convey appropriate? And we
to
had
the
been
tone of
talking
the
about,
show,
right, to the tone of the show, and we had been talking about that quite a bit, and then we rewrote this scene
Mm-hmm.
while the shooting was going, and then you handed them the new scripts for this scene. We decided we did want to change it. It needed to change, and then handed them this scene the morning of, in order to shoot this revised.
And they are so professional. They had it down. The two of them also, I think, carpooled together for the scene. So I think they were like practicing it together and stuff. So that probably helped. But.
Yeah, they're great friends in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
It would seem Steve has had a hard time of it. What do you think happened? Do you think they got him?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because there's no body.
Right. So that's why we decided to keep it.
Yeah, there's no body. There's the rope.
Open
There's no body.
question.
Cthulhu Bob Lovely says that's some flexible acting. It was. It was great. I apologize to them for like, I'm sorry, but I was like, this has got to happen. We need to change up the tone of this.
Yeah.
And so here's what we got to do.
Well, if he did get away, and he has any sense at all, he won't be coming back here.
Oh well. I guess it's too late for his muffin.
She's holding it like that because this wasn't the first take, so there were already some bites on those muffins. So they're just like, let's not show that part to the camera.
Cthulhu Bob Lovely says, I gotta say, these two are pretty delusional too. Well,
maybe
they are. Yeah, I mean, maybe. In many respects, they have it together, the best of all of them. But they could also, of everybody, like I can see them functioning in the world to some degree. But unlike the guys, like how do they even function? But you can see these two functioning in the world. Like I always said, like running an Etsy shop together or something like that.
Yeah.
With supplies. But yeah, they may not be living in what they think is going on may not be going on either. They just may be dealing with it the best.
Yeah.
Then I'll be happy.
Yeah. Do you still have those bones?
I mean, the ones from the last time we... Yeah,
Just
I got them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a Band-Aid. And I have this idea. What?
Here, have a drink. Mighty wizard. Thank you, mighty assistant. Oh, hey.
Hey, dudes. How's it going?
Well, we cast a spell against Steve. He got terrified and ran off.
It gets even better. Look.
Steve is no more.
He's dead?
Right. So
that's all they need to be like the Band-Aid on the skull.
Right.
So stupid.
So yeah, because we wanted to implicate that obviously this is not actually Steve's skull. It's a plastic skull with a Band-Aid stuck on it. But it had the Band-Aid on it. That's all they needed to do to sell
As
that
if somehow
to these guys.
like his whole head would get eaten except for the Band-Aid.
Band-Aid would still be on the side of his skull.
They don't like the Band-Aid, so maybe they took it off and then put it back on or something after they finished chowing down on him.
And this works so much better because it's not, because originally we were thinking, do we have to have Steve's bones?
Yeah, which
Like,
is darker. Like
which is much darker.
Yeah.
And
but the fact that instead they think it's his bones.
The witches are able to pass this off, and the guys just buy it hook, line, and sinker, and are just so thrilled with themselves. So let's see. Cthulhu Bob Lovely says, although the one Dave keeps getting advice from, sorry, I'm terrible with names, always seems bemused when he leaves. I think you're talking about Ben. Yeah, Acantha. Yes, because every time Acantha, there's something maybe going on between Ben and Acantha. And the commenter says, I love this happy little ending that we have here. Yeah, we end on a nice kind of note here, right? Bones, right?
Yes.
And Cthulhu Bob Lovely says, clearly plastic at the Halloween store are absolute proof of Steve's demise.
Yep. We found his remains a few minutes ago.
I'm a mighty wizard.
Yes, you are. Very mighty.
There's nothing I can't do.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Let's not get too full of yourself. Don't get too full of yourself.
Yeah.
That
Here,
that
we
part
can
was a
celebrate-
slight alteration because I think she's like, there's nothing I can't do. I wouldn't go that far. And he said something else before in the script where it was like, yeah, not everything. I don't know, and it wasn't coming across very clear.
Well, I remember what that was.
What was it? Because I can't remember exactly.
When we wrote this scene, when he was saying, "There's nothing I can't do," and then she says, no, not everything. And he said something like, yeah, that's right. And I was intending for him to be remembering that he wasn't able to summon Rob.
Exactly. And it wasn't coming across.
But no, yeah, and nobody on the cast got that's what he was remembering, that he was unable to summon Rob. And so we're like, okay, well, it's not coming across, then let's do something different. So,
and this was what I think what he said, what felt natural for him to just be like, yeah. And so anyway, little things that you edit as you film sometimes.
And Lesbin, yes, Acantha is a flirt. Quite so. What's going on between Acantha and Ben?
With the muffins I made. I made them for Steve, but he obviously doesn't need them anymore. Mike!
Dude, are you?
And I love the hand, the bone with just the hand on it, as if that's supposed to be Steve's hand. Wait, and that prop broke immediately after the scene. I was like, be careful with this. I think this is going to break. And then, like, just as soon as we finished shooting, that prop broke. So I got to fix it up if we're going to use it again.
You okay? My mom had a priest try to exorcise me. I only barely escaped. And they burnt my robe. Oh. I'm never going back there. Never. At least my dad had my back.
Can we get you anything?
Do you want a muffin?
I love that he
kills me. Like, this is like someone's dead bones, and you're just like, anyway.
And I think that was all Glenn who was doing that.
Oh yeah, that was just Glenn.
Bro, you can stay at my place, you know.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, dude, I got you. I killed Steve.
Again, with this whole concept of they're just so out of touch with reality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mike's just been rescued by his dad from an exorcism that his mother set up.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Steve's bones, quote unquote. Mike comes up and it's, hey, want a muffin? And he takes one.
He's like, oh yeah.
I'm never going back to my home. My robe's been burned. I've given up all my possessions. My mother and father are at odds now over this whole thing. But hey, muffins.
Exactly.
Yeah, Cthulhu says Steve's arm is now a spatula. And Retro Nerd Girl, good to see you. Good to see you. Got to head out, but having so much fun hanging out tonight. Good to see you. Good to see you. Everybody, check out her channel too. Please do. Yes. Good night, Retro Nerd Girl. Good to see you.
Yeah, the spell totally worked and everything. Great. Man, I knew you had it in you.
And he's talking about how he murdered somebody. Like,
right.
By the way, I killed Steve. Oh, good. I'm so
Look, it's the evidence.
Yeah.
If Rob were here, he would be. Rob! What?
Brianna and I worked with a lot of different potential scenes as we were writing this for Rob's reveal. Because we had them walking off someplace else to blah, 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 to try to get this reveal right. And eventually we got it so we didn't have to do a whole bunch of different location moves. It happened right here well.
Oh, here comes some more references, of course.
It cannot be. You jumped.
Yes, into the life-giving waters of my kind. I've swum from the shallowest shore to the darkest depth of.
I love their looks. I mean, their looks.
So good. There's so many, like they were. His whole speech stayed so many great expressions. It was painful to only put the ones in that needed to be there. Yes.
Because their reaction has contrasted to the other guy's reaction.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially Shay.
Waters. I have seen sunken temples in aquatic cities. I've lived 1,000 lifetimes.
You're back. I love the way he says that.
You answered my call.
Yes.
And we love that scene when he says, "You answered my call." Yes, because Rob may have no idea what Ben is talking about.
Right. He does not know what he's talking about, but he just goes again, he's the one now that is least in reality. So he's just along.
Yes.
Who knows?
It
Who knows
seems like
what he
you
said.
answered my call. Yes, I did. That's exactly what I did. Captain Skye says, my favorite. Oh, and also Cthulhu Bob Lovely says, holy crap, Retro Nerd Girls channel is cool indeed. Yes, it is. Definitely check that out. And also, I love Rob's eyes as he's making these statements. Yeah, Dax did such a fantastic job here.
It's good to see you again, friends. It's been a long time.
It's really been 3 days, Rob.
But he's lived 1,000 lifetimes.
Yeah.
And
in those 3 days.
And hopefully the 3-day reference.
Yes.
I mean, there's another reference. Hopefully we understand the 3-day reference and what Rob is going on with Rob here.
What are you doing here, man?
The sea returned me to the land. Stars wheeled up.
And it was so cold when we were shooting. I mean, he
Yes.
was such a good sport, but it was so cold when we were trying to do all of this.
Oh yeah, he was a really good sport for this. I mean, this was difficult. This part was because this is after he had already done the jump. We had just filmed him jumping, and we moved over just a little bit further down. So he's still stopping wet, and then it's like, hey, and now another scene. So yeah.
Yeah, and we had thought about different places for this to be, and it wasn't working. We had to move to a new location, and he was such a good sport. Yes.
Yeah.
Overhead, and every day was as long as the life age of the earth. But it was not the end. I felt life in me again.
And Brennan wanted to really replicate that exact the way that part is in Lord of the Rings. So that was a good mark on his point. Just kind of the same spin situation.
I think Brennan had said, I really love this scene, and he wanted to replicate this.
Yeah.
So he watched that scene in Lord of the Rings. Of course, the dialogue is the same too. We replicate a lot of the dialogue, and then when he's doing this, we replicate that spin and everything that went on.
Yeah, and Dax does a really great job getting the cadence of Gandalf too. A lot of the lines that are Gandalf's lines, he did a good job matching that as well.
Wait, the commenter says this is Dax. Can I join the live chat really quick?
Oh, that's Dax. Of course, he has the link. Right?
Dax has the link. I don't think this is actually. I don't think the commenter is actually Dax. But you've got. I emailed Dax the link. So Dax.
So if it is Dax,
if you are out there, if you're watching Dax, you've got the link. I sent it to you by email.
I have been sent back until my task is done.
What task?
I have returned to prove Father Dagon's power over the Yellow King by delivering his cult a final and ultimate defeat.
Rob!
Rob. Yes. That's what they used to call me. Rob. That was my name.
He's got such weird eyes when he says that too. That was my name. Yes. And of course, we just leave it up to you. What exactly happened to Rob in these 3 days? You can only imagine what Rob was up to in these 3 days.
One can only imagine.
I am Rob, the son of Dagon. I've come back to you now.
It's great. It's the names of all the gods, and then Rob.
Right. The contrast.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's a name I have not heard in a long, long time. Exactly.
Rob. This is the most common sounding name. He did that spontaneously, and then we all, as soon as we called cut, everyone just burst into laughter, and that ended up making it in. But yeah, he just spontaneously did that.
So we've got
One more
oh, so here we go. So here is Dad's the concluding scene. Well, Cthulhu Bob Lovely puts up a nice crucifixion pose there, Rob. Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of religious imagery coming in now.
Wait, we got Dax here.
Oh.
Okay, hang on. We'll go back. Let's finish this and then we'll go back.
Dax, was that actually you? The comment?
That's me.
Oh, that was actually you? Okay.
Fantastic.
Well, we got Dax. All right. So we'll go back. Let's finish up this and talk to Dad. Then we'll go back to what you want to talk about, Dax.
I just want to make a quick comment about that location.
Yeah.
It was so gross. It was so scary.
It was pretty scary.
It was pretty scary down there. I was like, I feel like I'm gonna get bit by some dangerous spider. It was great. So that's the same location that the rest of the house was. And they said, it was like, oh yeah, we've got like a basement area. And the guy was like really apologetic. He's like, I haven't cleaned down here and, it's really messy. And I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Actually, it's like, please don't clean it. It's just perfect for what we need. Nice and spooky. But it was scary being down there like, ugh, spider webs everywhere.
I don't know how practical it would be if we did a season 3, but like, I would love to see this location have more hidden MacGuffins within it that we could uncover.
This is where all the different things, when you need something, you know where it is. It's down in this scary basement under, because this is under, well, I mean, obviously in universe it's under Mike's house, but then, the basement of Mike's house, but also in the real world, as far as the set goes, this is the basement of the bed and breakfast that we rented. And it was just perfect for this.
And it was the last thing we shot that day.
Oh no, we just lost him.
Was it not? Was this?
Yeah, I think it was. We were a little over schedule too. I think now that I'm remembering.
the light was perfect. I thought with the way the windows and the sun where it was positioned, I thought the lighting was good. I don't even think we used any kind of lighting, did we?
Yeah, we didn't need to. I don't think so.
You just ran up the natural light that was down there, and it gives it a good look.
Yeah, with the way it was like streaming through the windows there. Not all of it even comes up on camera as cool as it was because we weren't like over at that area, but you had like lots of the dust and the sunbeam. It was so cool. Yeah. He's back.
So now we thought this was a great way to end with, well, Dad's made previous decisions, but now he's made another major decision.
He's made another decision. End of season 2.
So Cthulhu Bob Lovely says, yes, dark makes sense, but it wouldn't work. Yeah, to be completely dark down there. So where do you want to go back to, Dax? Yeah, everybody's been saying, hey, Dax, to you. Oh, wait, you just left again. I was about to say where we're going. But we got lots of people saying hi to Dax in the chat here. So he'll probably want to go back to where we were with his reveal here.
Yeah.
He'll probably jump back in here in just a second. Skye says, I tried to get
Skye wants to come in? What? Send him the link.
Hey, hang on, Skye. Let me send you. I got an invite link here. Let me send you. Hey, I'll go over to Facebook. Are you listening? Hopefully you are, because you're in here. Let me go over to Facebook and I'll send you that in Messenger because I know we've talked that way before. Okay. So Dax is gonna be here in just a moment again. So let's let me go over here to Skye. Skye, dropping invite link in.
Sorry,
Facebook.
Skye. I just assumed that you were commenting that you just preferred to comment.
Yeah. So, all right. So they will be in, and we can go through if you want to, and if you can stay, whoever can stay or whatever, because we can take a look at the deleted scenes and also the bloopers, and especially if Skye comes in. Okay, comment. Oh, here he is. Okay.
Okay, no problem. Oh.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
You want to go back to your scene of your arrival and appearance?
It's completely up to you. I just have, obviously I have stuff to say about it.
Go ahead.
Then let's talk about it. So we're going back here.
You can stay at my place,
Dax, do you want to just say what you have to say, or do you want us to, or would it be easier to play?
Oh yeah. So my first comment is that as the boom operator, I just had so much fun being a part of, well, not being a part of this scene, but being next to this scene as it was unfolding. Like I said in the comments, it was just this sweet little ending with like a skull and crossbones. I thought that was so amusing, like so well written, really. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And
and
totally-
I'm remembering now. We tried a few different ways of like how I was revealed.
Yeah.
I don't really remember the details of that, but I remember like we tried different places of coming out, and I love the one that you chose anyway. Yeah.
I'm sending Skye. I'm sending. Well,
Maybe we can have all of us at once.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what. Now I'm not getting to Skye's email address, but it was sent to you by.
Yeah,
Facebook.
it worked out that you guys started this
there he
late,
is.
though.
Here he is.
I had got off from work, and then I went somewhere to eat, and then I realized like, oh, this is happening right now. I can fit in.
Well,
Yeah,
hey,
Skye.
Skye, there he is.
What's up, man? That's the man right there.
We are all here. Oh, so
Yes,
Cthulhu
and-
Bob Lovely asks, where did we get the temporary tattoo? And that is
He's made it.
Yep, I made it. That's my own design here. That was based because it was based on what Rob's tattoo looked like in season 1, or brand looked like in season 1.
Yeah.
And so I made temporary tattoos, and there are places where that you can just order temporary tattoos from. And so I ordered these, and so I got a couple of sheets of them. I'll have to order more for season 2, I suppose. I had thought about making them available, but I'm not able to get them produced in quantity to actually make them, practical. But that's what's going on there. Oh, Cthulhu Bob Lilly says, "Oh, it's Crowley talking about you, Skye, I believe."
Do we want to? Skye and Dax, do you guys want to? Do we want to play through the scene, or is there?
The top.
or is there anything in particular you guys want to go to? Just let us know.
I wanted to note that for as many obvious references as there are in this scene to Two Towers, when the script was first given to me for this episode, I hadn't seen Two Towers yet. I actually hadn't seen any of the Lord of the Rings movies yet. And this was an incentive to watch them. So I thank you guys for that, because now I'm reading Lord of the Rings. I'm actually reading it now. And so, yeah, basically, if it wasn't for the Cultists, I wouldn't have sort of gotten into Tolkien. So thank you for that.
Sweet.
Well,
Sweet.
I do remember that, Dax, that when we were like reading through or something like that, and then we got to this part where you reemerged, you laughed and said, "I come back like Aslan."
Oh, yeah, we were all like, "No, you're not getting the reference." Yeah, that was during the read.
Well,
and you're like, "Oh, I gotta go watch them now."
But
yeah. That's funny. It's funny. It's funny how both Tolkien and Lewis, maybe they're channeling something there. They both have these returning characters.
Probably. They were both Christian, so
yeah.
And contemporaries. Best
Yeah, they were
friends.
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 Yeah. I noticed, it's been a year since I watched this episode, and seeing it again, it's like I cannot believe how much I nailed. I don't know if it was consciously or unconsciously. I just nailed Ian McKellen.
You did, though. You did.
I mean, I am a perfect parody of Ian McKellen.
Yes.
My God. And I don't brag. I am not one to brag about my acting, but God, that was funny. I love how Rachel's reaction to that, and it's been 3 days, Rob.
It's been 3 days, Rob.
Yeah.
Skye, did you have anything to say about the casting of the spells? I mean, I know you were in the chat, but did you have anything to add to that, or to this scene, or anything else?
I mean,
you just want to hang? That's cool too.
Not really. I know that this scene, whenever I got to it whenever I got to the script, to this scene in the script, I was filled with joy, because I have a ritual, and I just did it because I got moved into my new place, where every time I move into a new place, I christen it by watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
That's amazing.
And so I'm a bit of a fan of
I
of
definitely
The Hobbit and Silmarillion and everything like that.
Yeah, I would actually say it's because of you and because of Heath. I sort of felt a need to get this right in a way that I hadn't felt previously, and I'm glad that was on me. I am glad that was on me. And then another thing I'll note about it is, God, I'm embarrassed about this part, but for some reason when I was when I was practicing my lines for this, I used an app called Scripty. And like the script was fed into the app, and for some reason on that app there was like an error, and this monologue I did was as two different scenes. It was it was like categorized as two different scenes, and so I'm embarrassed if anybody remembers it, but I was really having trouble doing this all in one go because I had memorized it as two separate scenes.
Yeah, it messed up your flow. Yeah,
it messed up my flow really bad. Yeah.
Was this actually shot rather early?
Shot early in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, it was early in the day. It may have been early in filming in general.
I don't remember.
I don't know about that. I feel like we were a few days into it already.
Well, yeah, a few days, but yeah.
But you got it, Dax, and you know that's all that mattered. We did it. I think we rehearsed it a good number of times to help let you get through that. And
yeah, because I've done monologues before. That was the thing I was embarrassed about, was because like I had this worry that like, oh, they don't think I can do monologues, and it's like, gosh, it's just this. Yeah, I just didn't have a flow there.
I understood. So. I understood.
Yeah.
Well,
I want to make it.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, Brianna.
I was going to say I wanted to make another comment because Skye also did a fantastic job on where he was mimicking. God, why am I blanking on his name? Aragorn.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know the moment. Yeah. But you're mimicking like the whole, not just the way he said it, but like the way that he like moved in the frame at that moment as well. So, yes.
Yeah.
We should play that part. We should.
Well, okay, yeah, I'll bring that up because we actually talked about that line too, and we're like, what should the line be that Dave says? Because Dave, Aragorn says you fell,
right?
And I think originally in the script we had you fell, but
he didn't.
You're like, but they didn't actually fall, so it needed to be something. So it became you jumped. I love the look, Skye.
It cannot be. You jumped.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now people have thought brought up Mega
rough.
Fish, but actually that is the same fish that he had. So
people were wondering if it wasn't the same fish.
Yeah. And if we had thought about that, that's something that might have changed.
I think it's just been so long since they'd seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now actually,
I wonder, is it faced a different direction though? Because I want to say there was one scene where we faced it a different direction by mistake. But
that was in season one. In season one, we had like 2 episodes. We had 1 or 2 episodes where it was different from the rest of the episodes.
Yeah. Rob is inconsistent on his fish, and I thought that we were being consistent, but it ended up that we were inconsistent. But it's fine because the fish different ways in different ways. But it makes sense that as he became increasingly intimate with his fish, that it would be coming in and out of its holster and might be positioned different.
Do we want to switch
the
to
fact
watching?
That you just said that is that statement's a little disturbing.
He's getting more intimate with his. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing, but I was like, I'm just
more intimate with his fish. That's.
Yeah, let's go to the deleted scenes.
Yeah.
I love the deleted scenes. God.
Yeah, because people were wondering in the chat why we removed these. I should just say real quickly.
Go ahead.
It had to do with, I think it might have been slightly pacing, but I think it was mainly just that we realized that this whole thing with the banana wasn't necessary.
Well, no, that was
it's coming, huh?
That was feeling. Now I specifically remember the episode 5 stuff. Mm-hmm. Right, was specifically removed because we had the tone of sadness that you were talking about. And then all of a sudden, because that scene that we're about to watch with the banana peel happens as the guys are coming up to Rob's funeral.
And it was the wrong note tonally. That's right, because we were talking about this on the commentary for this episode that we moved some stuff around. I totally forgot that part of that was also completely removing scenes, and it worked out perfectly because there were several problems. That was like the tonal issues, and there was also I think there was one of the scenes maybe with the whipping that was like kind of repetitive to another scene, and it didn't really do anything narratively that the other scene wasn't doing. And so Brendan and I, as we were talking through it, we realized that all the scenes that we're having issues with involved the banana theme, and we realized if we just removed the whole banana thing, it fixed all of it. So yeah, that was convenient.
Cthulhu Bob Lovely says Skye has his best facial expressions in this episode, talking about episode 10. Awesome. He says.
Yeah.
So excellent.
Oh, I actually on set, like when I was doing the boom op, I sometimes had to not look at Skye because I would laugh. This guy makes me laugh. Yeah.
Cy Pop says he thanks for the quick segue from that cursed comment.
Yeah, we're gonna forget about that comment completely. Yes.
Yes. Fish. Yep. Cthulhu Bob Lovely says no banana, but I am still happy to see you.
Thanks for that, Cthulhu Bob. Another cursed comment.
If you're wondering, these deleted scenes are these deleted scenes are still canon in the
they are.
Yeah,
What?
these deleted scenes are canon, right? I mean, I think because these things happened, they just weren't right tonally, but these things still actually happened in the universe. Oh wait, this is bloopers. Hang on, wait a minute.
Wrong thing, Heath. Get it together, Heath.
There we go. Even the banana. There we go. And I loved doing this scene because this comes from episode 5. So this would have been Rob's funeral right before, I forget, it may have been like right after Dave's song. See, I think the problem was that this was scheduled to go in right after Dave's song, which was sad. And then we go to and so you couldn't cut to this. It didn't work.
Yeah.
This time, I've got them. The next time they come here to the park, they will slip on this banana peel. They will knock themselves unconscious on the sidewalk. I will drag them to the cult of Shub. It's perfect.
As if they would not see him. I mean, there's so much stupidity.
And yet somehow they seem not to, because they're like so distracted by because that was one thing that I think we had to make it so it didn't feel weird for you guys, because you guys are like, I can't see what you do, but you all are like, kind of sad in your own world, and yeah, Mike's looking at his phone. So
and that's really important throughout all of everything we were doing with the cultists. We don't want anyone to feel weird. What's going
right. Sure.
Make sure nothing weird is going on.
You want everybody to feel one.
Yeah. Just completely miss it.
Just what a letdown. Like, this is supposed to be it.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah.
Do I have your permission, Heath, to edit this clip for a meme? Because I want to add the. Yeah, we're memeing this.
We need memes. Yes, exactly. The cult of Shub. Well, hey, the witches are part of the cult of Shub too. But yes, he is so defeated, right? Poor Steve. Like nothing is going right for Steve. And here, I forget where this. So this came in. No, so I guess this was also part of episode 5 because there were originally
I think all this was
3 things that Steve did: the sign, the banana, and the Mickey. But the banana got cut. Yeah. So there. Steve tried 3 times.
Hello there, Steve. Have you succeeded?
No.
Ow! What's your excuse?
I remember we did that.
I'm impressed with how that looked like that hurt. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we tried that several times.
Yeah.
Just this time.
They didn't step on the banana peel. Mercy!
Your time runs short, Steve.
And I remember Steve's in there. I was like flipping my feet in the water, like trying to have a good time. Cthulhu Bob Lovely says that staff is so cool.
It is.
Thank you. That's one of the ones
Where
I made.
did that staff come from?
I made it. I made it in the workshop. It's the head of it's carved out of foam. It's actually the head of it is the crown of the Night Mother, which is the symbol of the cult of Shub-Niggurath in Journey to the Tree of Sorrows. So there's actually there is a video of like in-universe Cthulhu lore about that symbol that she's holding that I wrote and was professionally narrated. You can find that online. So there is that, and then I use that here.
Heath goes all in with these props.
Yeah.
I know. I'll get them next time. I will. You'll see. You'll see.
Oh, and then this one was in episode 7.
I'm running out of time. I have got to think of something.
Oh.
Maybe I need allies.
And I hate this had to get dropped because, you know, Brianna was in season 1 and now here she is in season 2. But
it is kind of funny that it's the same character getting tormented again, but whatever.
Exactly. The same character shows up in season 2. Still canon, though. Still canon.
Excuse me, ma'am, but how would you like to join a cult? Where are you going? Oh, wait.
What kind of approach is that?
Which is definitely how you ask people to join a cult.
Yeah.
You just say, would you like to join a cult?
Cthulhu Bob Love says, Journey to the Tree of Sorrows rocks, by the way. Thank you. I hope that the RPG is published sometime. I hope it is still able to come out. Sorry, Skye?
Oh no, he's breaking in and out.
It's like the same that was in.
I think we do have a delay with Skye and stuff coming in and out.
Oh dear.
That's how it worked in Dad's story. Left Spin says.
Yeah, we just went around asking people.
Hey, you want to be in a cult? Right. Yeah, let's just join a cult.
Well,
you want to get branded? I got the brand right here. Like you.
Actually, back in Dad's day, we were still allowed to hang out at airports.
So bad.
Oh, Skye, are you back, Skye?
We were still allowed to go to the airport and pass out literature. And most of you are not old enough to understand that reference. The Hare Krishnas used to hang out in airports.
The Hare Krishnas. I've heard about them. I watched a documentary about the Hare Krishnas.
Yeah, and they used to hang out in airports and pass out literature. Well, that was, trust me, it was funny if you had understood the reference. So.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
Filthy from under a bridge, Cthulhu Bob Lovely says.
Hmm.
The Hare Krishnas. Yeah, exactly. So we got the reference.
Okay.
So Skye's looks like he's refreshing. That's
cool. Skye's refreshing. Okay.
Let's make sure he gets to make his comment when he comes back.
Yeah, let's.
That banana thing was perfect. Perfect. They just didn't slip like I was expecting. Slip. I've got it. I'll slip them a Mickey.
I love that transition. Like why he decided to do the Mickey. Right. Slip, banana, slip. That's Steve's line of thought right there. And then also he does go for one of his bags of God knows what. And it has stuff to make a Mickey in it.
Like he doesn't have any food apparently, but he has that.
He has that.
So that's that.
All right. Let's go over and do the deleted scenes then.
The bloopers, you mean?
The bloopers, yeah.
Guys! Guys!
Me.
Damn,
I'm
so
sorry.
So unprofessional.
That's why you can't look at Skye when you're filming. Like something's gonna happen.
I was about to say a lot of the bloopers are going to be Skye getting bleeped out, and I could pick on him because he's not in the live stream anymore.
Bob Lovely says Steve probably has a lot of meds. Yeah, he probably does to have that go on. But yeah, so that was Skye's phone that went off. This was my phone that went off, and I couldn't shut it up, and I was so embarrassed.
This was on our first day of filming.
This was
Hi, and welcome to my cursed kitchen.
We don't care, Steve. I forgot my line.
Wait, what are you doing?
Just trying to get this the net.
The net. Oh, the net. I just remember.
It was getting blown by the wind. Yeah.
Yeah, originally we had like ropes going over Steve, and we could not figure out how to get the ropes to actually work right and bind Steve to this bench. And so we're like, why don't they just throw a net? It's like, oh, okay, they should throw a net. So we got this like ridiculously light looking net, like you'd hang like plush toys or stuffed animals from your corner in a kid's room. But that was so light and it was so windy that like they couldn't really even throw it over me. Left Spin says, Captain Skye, you should do an acoustic version of the Cultist song for an episode with a sad ending. Oh, interesting.
Oh, that's clever.
And now I kind of actually want to hear an acoustic, like the unplugged Cultist song, the Cultist Unplugged. Oh, now I kind of want to hear that.
At first, it was really.
Friends.
That was also so much wind going by, and like
wind was
going over.
I mean, so there's two antagonists in this series. There's Steve and there's the wind.
And I think there's a couple more. There's also the cars, and there is the
trains.
Geese.
Trains.
Oh, the trains. Oh, you forgot the trains.
Yeah.
The trains were huge. There's a train track. You can see it right. It's like right behind. I'm pointing as if you guys can see what I'm pointing at. That's funny. Right, like right behind where these guys are in the frame is the train track, literally right there, and it would come through the park. And every so often, you just hear in the distance. You're like, okay, now we got to stop. Time for a break. Oh,
and the cold.
So,
well, the cold was especially in season one. We had a little bit of that in season 2, especially at the park day, the lake day.
Yeah.
But,
I remember going in to use the bathroom in season 1, and I hadn't been in those stalls before. And for one, the stalls are just in terrible condition, or at least they were at the time. And I walk in, and like it's frozen, like where to pee, the toilet's frozen.
Oh no.
So you couldn't really pee there either. It's like you just go find a tree.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Come, I can no longer live among the landwalkers. Where's Rob? Oh, there he is. Rob! Rob, you're hiding.
Yeah.
I see you.
You found me.
Yep.
You weren't quite on cue that time.
For that to one take. It happens.
Take that back. Oh my God!
Coronavirus.
It'd take us like
their ability, Rachel and Mallory, their ability, they would be goofing off like that and dancing around seconds before we'd go live, and then they're just like boom, back in character.
Yeah, they
They're
seem
true
to enjoy
actors.
doing that.
Yeah, just clearly whipped us an experience. You could see it every day.
And Cthulhu Bob Lovely says, "I love the Steve diagram." You know, we should have. You know, if we had unlimited funds, we'd do a Steve diagram poster so everybody could have one.
25
Captain Skye says he's having difficulties trying to get a computer.
Oh, okay.
times to kill him with like a battle axe.
It's even funnier that you bleeped it.
He tried so many times to get that right.
It's a known fact that Skye, he doesn't actually say curse words. Like the bleep sound actually comes out of his mouth.
Out of his mouth. We got to make sure to tease him as much as possible before he comes back, since he can't defend himself.
Yeah. And Skye, when you come back, you get your comments. Like if you get in here, like
you get to roast me.
Hagen. That's close enough. I reach out to offer them my friendship. And my love.
I love that. I love it. That was so close to being right. But it's also, I love some of these bloopers that you do, Dax, because actually if they had been in, they could have just been Rob, because that's also a very Rob thing to say. I offer my friendship.
Just stay in character.
And my love.
I forget what the original line was. What was the line?
Well, I forget.
Take me with you. Take me with you. That's what he says.
Take me with you.
Say something about love at some points. I mean, it was almost right. But like
Yeah.
offering
Spirit.
that thing your love, that worked. That could have worked too.
It was the
But
spirit.
that thing might kill you.
Sorry. I'm sorry, The ocean? That's like this lake, it's so much bigger. Rob? Be able to swim forever.
Messed that up.
Yeah, and you could hear the wind in the microphones there. Oh, here we got Skye.
Oh,
All right.
oh, Skye Part 2.
Skye.
Excellent. I'm glad you're back.
Can you hear us?
I can't hear them through here though. I don't know what I need to do to turn it up.
Well, we can hear you.
Hey, I can hear you. Oh my lord.
Hey, do you remember, Skye, what it was that you were trying to say before you left?
Oh yeah, I was saying the part that you played in season 2 is I thought it'd be funny to connect it to the same part in season 1 that you played where you got run off from the pavilion, and in season 3, or 17 or 31, whatever season you come in, season 135, that you come back leading a group of people against the cultists, like, we will not be driven from these lands.
Yes, I remember you saying something like that on set. You're like, I want this character to come back and just gonna just keep bringing this in.
Yeah.
But
I hate that I missed a lot of the bloopers because those were so fun.
You got you have comments on your bloopers or anything like that was going on?
Well, just I literally, by the way, the reason why I disconnected is the same thing that happened in like the first blooper. Whenever my phone goes off, my phone started going off. Somebody was calling me, and it just disconnected entirely.
Oh no!
Do you still have the Pickle Rick theme for
I
your
do
phone?
indeed still have the.
Oh, good. Well, it's fitting.
man.
It's fitting. It's a real life blooper.
Yeah, I was like, no, I want to see the part where my phone went off, and then my phone goes off, and I'm like, not now.
Oh man.
I think the rock.
Sorry. That scene where they were doing where you guys were doing the not the branding but the tattoo, that was also a big monologue for Peter, and we went over that one several times in order to get.
He has a lot of monologues. Yeah,
he's got all of them. Steve leading an army of Dark Young.
I think he was getting a little frustrated at that blooper point. It was, but it's okay.
I think so.
Excuse me. I'm just trying to keep it sexy over here.
Already pretty high, bro.
Do we go in after him? No. He's too far off now. I was swimming towards sea.
I just want to make a little comment. Because like as I was saying earlier, like I kept all the takes that would make good bloopers, but I was also taking note. And I don't think I was doing this in the dailies. I don't remember, but at some point I was taking note of all the different like times when people were being really silly around the clapper, and so that I could use those as these little points. So each one is like a fun moment because people were often right before we start filming, people start being goofy.
Well, like this,
I caught them. They got in the end of the cut.
We've got this right here. Like these live shows where we're talking about this. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is documenting what we've done. I'm so glad that we've got it because we've got the show that we did. We've got the bloopers that document behind the scenes kind of stuff. We've got behind the scenes commentary because, we get to look back on it and look back, and we'll remember all of this and see these things we're documenting. I'm so glad that we did that.
Him and I are going to the lake. Me and him is just gonna be us and.
Him and I, me and him.
But we're not gonna kiss.
I don't remember these.
That's not a blooper. That was just him adding in some funny.
He was
like a
setting
a
the
wonder
standard.
egg.
He was laying down the gauntlet there.
Right. Well, it's a very establishing the relationship, very intimate moment between these two friends. But Mike does want to be sure that there is a line. There is a line.
Yeah.
Steve?
Steve. Rat.
You know, like when I think about the show, I didn't think there was like this vitriolic hatred for Steve.
There is,
but I guess it's there.
Yes, they literally kill him. So
We were talking about that the last time that I was on a stream. How it was going around calling him so many different things, and it just escalated and escalated till by the end of it, he was saying the worst things about him.
Well, there was something that I wish was on camera that was said there at that time that was like something, and I it's not going to sound as funny as trying to describe it, but there was something. Do you remember this? As there was something about like the sexual nature about Steve, that when Glenn is, or Glenn was like, he's not going to know what hit him. Like there was some kind of awkward phrasing in there that Steve was about to be like seduced by Ben, and Ben's like, he's not going to know it's going to hit. And I wish that was on camera, because I remember we all just cracked up, but we weren't rolling at the time. And I wish that
I can't remember.
If I had to hazard a guess, this show is themed around a lot of Lovecraft. There had to be a tentacle porn joke somewhere.
There probably
We've all seen the hentai before.
Les Ben says, if they have to say we're not going to kiss, it makes you wonder.
I think some of that had to do with like how physically close the two of them had to be for that shot, and it might have felt a little bit awkward.
It was very close, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why he made that comment.
An ultimate defeat.
Steve, I remember that walking. I remember because for some reason I was gone, and I showed back up when you guys were trying to shoot that. I had to
You
go.
didn't
off
realize
and do
we were
something.
filming, yeah.
No, I did realize, and I remember very explicitly looking. Okay, they're shooting. There they are. Like, which direction do I walk up from? And I was like, because I do not want to disrupt it. And I was making very deliberate choices, and I made exactly the wrong one. And I walked right into the scene.
I swear, it may have been last season, but I swear I remember, like this season or last, Brianna turning around and going, "Steve, get out of the shot!"
That was. I think that happened right after that. That's probably not on camera, but yeah.
I just remember hissing Steve's name. It wasn't even a scene like in the show. I would just be saying, "Steve, Steve." It's a very... It has like Karen energy. Like the way you say Steve is the way you say Karen.
Yeah.
Steve's the worst.
What are you doing down there? Bro.
Steve, you are going to pay for this. Just you wait. As soon as I figure out this spell, you are done for.
Were you trying to slip us a Mickey?
That makes it sound like it was Ben that was slipping the Mickey.
Yeah.
So there's so much to say here, because okay, we had to shoot this scene so many times, and we had to clear out all the
so there's the pain of, oh no, we just messed that up.
I wish that you had been able to see me, because I was just covered. Like after I posted on Instagram what I looked like after we had shot all of this, because I was just covered in coffee and covered in sugar, because many times I've had it dumped on me and things like that. So I wish that had been able to see on camera, but it didn't quite work for that. But there was another one where I was dumping sugar all over everybody, and it actually gets all over them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like all over our shoulders. I think some got it in my beard, and I was just like,
yeah. Nobody. They play it like they don't even notice, even though the sugar is like, obviously it's ridiculous. It's landing on the table, but there's one take where it's like landing all over them, and they're playing it like they don't even notice. All right.
Music, man. Saves the soul.
Stars yield.
What? Long beep.
Were you supposed to say? Was he supposed to say it soothes the soul?
Soothes the soul. Yeah.
No, is that what that was about? Oh, okay.
It was like soothes the soul or something, or like it heals the soul or something like that.
You said it saves the soul.
The soul. It's like it's proselytizing you. It's bringing you to Jesus.
Right.
Yes.
Overhead, as every life day on Earth was as long as a life age on Earth.
That's the kind of stuff I was talking about, of like losing my flow.
Yeah. That's another one where I'm like, actually, I wish we had thought to write that into the script, because that's also such a Rob thing to say. Every day on Earth was as if a life age on Earth.
It's like,
yeah,
it sounds like an AI chat bot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm glad that you guys didn't. Well, I don't know if you did or not. Hopefully, you didn't pick up any of me mouthing his lines, because when it got to and every day was as long as the life age of the Earth, I'm over there like following along.
I didn't notice.
Oh my God! Yeah.
But also, yeah.
Like you should have. At that point, you should have just had Skye like put on my costume and just take over from there, because he was ready. He was prepared.
Yeah. Actors
Yeah.
and
Enough
their
of demonic
lives,
force-
they never learn.
Forces in this house. It must be burned.
No!
I thought you would understand that.
Hey, I want to comment on that. So episode 9, the exorcism. I just wanted to note how awkward it was with all those people in there to film that scene.
We've been talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, I remember I was Boom, and then on top of that, you got director, producer, you've got the actors who walk out of the scene, but they have to walk out, so they're still in the room. It's just, that was a lot. That was a lot.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to point out here, this is one of the only few frames that we have of Kenna on camera, because Kenna is typically not on camera. And I've invited her to these live streams, but she has declined, which is perfectly fine. But Kenna here was you can see that she was the data wrangler. She was assistant editor. She did our camera clacking and things like that. She was on set all the time. Kenna is also my cousin. So Kenna is my younger cousin. She is Megan's younger sister. So that's Megan's sister there that was operating the clapboard here. So she was also on set almost every day, if not every day.
It's your finger.
Oh no. What's up, dude? Took that off.
I was totally thrown off of that.
We were right there. It's just
Yeah, so
I love that.
What was the problem there? I didn't even notice.
It was the timing.
Wait, what?
So you had the timing right, and the timing was supposed to be wrong. It was supposed to be like a.
Oh yeah. We were gonna do a proper. I accidentally met his fist bump. Or something.
Right.
Yeah.
But then it came up later that it was not that was part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's creating the timing paradox.
we were right there. It's just
yeah, so
We did it, buddy! We did it! We did it! We did it! Yeah! We did it!
And so there were
Skye is just dying over there.
Man. Dude, I told this story the day that we shot that. I came home and I was like, man, you guys should have seen Dax. And the way I described it was like, I think it was the cold water, because man, it was cold. That hit him, and he just got like this adrenaline spike, and like he was just like, yeah. And it was so hard because we have to when we're walking off and be sad, but we can hear him in the background celebrating, and it was amazing.
Yeah, we only had one shot at that. It had to be right, and it all worked.
And I remember I had to go back in the cold water to shoot that scene where I shoot up out. It's like for the flashback moment of the scene.
Where every day
and
life age.
That part. And I remember it was Brianna and Heath who had to tell me that they're done here. Like I wanted to keep doing more takes because I wanted to try and do it longer. Because initially, wasn't it Brianna? I think you told me that you wanted me to wait longer before I jump out, but it was just so cold. I had to jump out.
Yeah, someone had like a little pause before,
Yeah.
but
And you
we need a
eventually
long
told me
pause.
like, hey, that's good enough. We're moving on. But man, I wanted to keep at it.
Yeah, I remember that now. You were really determined. You were like, I want to get this right.
Yeah,
It's like,
that
it's okay,
cold
it's
water.
right.
Yeah, Skye's right. I had this like adrenaline rushing through me at that point. Yeah.
Loud trucks. Car. Car. Wait for the car. Car. Wait for the car.
I don't. Oh, pause for a second. Say that.
But God, man, like, you know, the best of Alabama right there. Like, anytime anyone at all saw that we had a camera, they had to slow down.
Oh yeah.
And take a look. And I can't say much because I think there was a movie way back when. It might have been like American Pie or something like that. There was some movie that they filmed down in Alabama. They actually filmed right on my my grandparents' and great grandparents' street, and me and the siblings happened to be there, and my grandmother was like, "Y'all kids want to go be in a movie?" And we're like, yeah, and the people filming were like, no. They were having to like change the day, change the shot, because in one of the scenes you can see us in her car like waving at the camera while they're trying to shoot the scene. And we were like, I mean, we were tiny, but like, yeah.
That's hilarious. But yeah,
It's a human thing. Like, it's funny how in the moment, as the actors and crew, we were kind of like, gosh, why is everybody slowing down? Like, can't they see we're making a movie here? When, like, we have to think about what it was like. We have to think about what it was like before we did stuff like this. Like this, that stuff is really interesting to normal, everyday people. Yeah.
One of the things that Brennan would do, you see that in the blooper, is that if he really wanted to weird someone out and like make them leave sooner, he would just turn the camera to them. He did that a couple other times, and then they would start to drive faster.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, you want to be in the movie?
I think that silver truck was one of those. That's why, because it turns to that silver truck, and I think that's what he was doing. The silver truck, and then he like started following the silver truck.
Yeah, Brendan and I talked about it. We were like, we need to get everyone on set like timing perfect to just all shift towards people driving by and watch them freak out.
Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't even have put it on to begin with. It's good, we're good this time.
You don't see his penis in the movie. I said you see his penis, but you do not see his penis.
We couldn't have gotten that in there.
Glenn, such a delight.
Now, in this episode, I don't know if it makes the blooper. I don't think it does. There's some sort of improvised line that Ben makes, and I think it's before I walk in or after I leave in this scene. Ben makes an improvised line that was so funny. Does anybody remember what it was?
I can't. There's something pinging that was like shortly after you were walking out, he like quietly said something to himself that had us cracking.
Yeah,
he did a lot. I think we did a lot of different takes. And
I remember it now. Okay, so I remember what it was is. My favorite movie is Shape of Water, and there's a side scene where I talk about that, but they're here. I'm sorry, it's been a while since I watched this episode, but like they weren't they going to like watch the Shape of Water with me to make me feel better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And then David.
So what Ben does is like after I storm out and leave because I'm heartbroken. Ben says, "Well, I guess we should watch the movie now."
Yeah. Well, he does. At one time, he goes, "Yeah." He just said different things after that. One time, he goes, like after you storm out, there's all this drama. He goes, "Can we still watch it?"
That's what it was. Yeah. Can we still?
Yeah.
I think that's what ended up in the final episode because there were a whole bunch of different comments that he would add at the end, and there's always waiting a pause in case we wanted to cut it out. But
okay, I'm gonna go back and watch that. Okay, that's cool.
No, there was another one that he did when you storm out, and then Ben was sitting there, and he goes, "He was my ride."
Oh yeah,
that's a good one too.
That's it.
Good job, dude. Good job. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What celebration! What triumph!
Oh man.
What good
I had a
times.
belly back then. Gosh, I've lost a lot of weight since then.
Well,
good for you.
Yeah.
First of all, we say Tom told us in the private chat that he had to go. So
Yeah, I
thank
just
you so much, for being there. No, we talked about that from season 2. I got some other things, a couple things to talk about as well. But we talked about that as far as our weight and health goes. That between season 1 and season 2, Glenn, who plays Ben,
Oh, I know,
got
right?
completely cut up between season 1 and season 2. I mean, he was like a beast when he came back for season 2. So we all have to be that way for season 3. We all have to be like, boom, here we go.
That was, you joked about that on the set of season 2, but I really wanted to surprise you with actually doing it.
Me too.
This has been a fantastic show. And there's so much more to come. I thank you guys for being here on the stream with me.
Yeah, I'm so glad you guys could join in.
I know this was great, and thank you to everybody who's been watching. This has been incredible. Like I said, we are on the ascendancy. And Skye's about to start making content, and we're about to explode. We're all about to explode here, and explode in the good way. In the good way, I'm not talking about like our cars when we get into them in the morning. I'm talking about in the good way.
Or our stomachs after a stick of butter.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a way to make a joke like that. Thank you.
You tied it back.
Well, yeah.
All right. See you guys.
Gotcha.
See
All
ya.
right. Bye, everybody. Skye, thank you so much. And let us know. Do you have a place people can follow you right now? They all cut out. But do you have a place where you follow?
Beginning of next year, I'm working. Now that I'm moved, I'm gathering equipment to be able to, and I got to go through a couple of try and fail sessions to make sure I get everything right. But sometime next year, soon, it's all starting, and I'm super excited for it. I think we're probably going to start out with the group that I have closest to me here, and I'm going to have them test playing some games that I've been big and involved in, but that they don't have much experience in, and probably go from there, because I have all sorts of ideas that I've told you about doing gaming stuff, of course. I know everybody's doing that right now, but also doing interview stuff, doing skits, and if it goes as far as I hope it will, eventually doing a show of my own or two.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you so much for joining us. It has been fantastic. I look forward to doing so much more.